Ahoy! I've got a bit of a surprise for you. Many of you have noticed that my character is wielding a bow now instead of a staff, and no, you didn't confuse me with someone else. So, a lot of you asked why. This character is over 8 years old, as you can see. Oh, actually 9. Anyway, it's pretty old. Of course I haven't played for 9 years in a row, it just means that the character was created back then. But I've had lots of large breaks since then. Anyway, that time was enough to grow bored of Wizard and I needed a change. I wanted the minimal struggle with selling items, so I decided to stay as a magic class. And since the change kit doesn't support Force Gunner yet, that left me with Archer only. Which I don't regret, by the way. To cut a long story short, I recorded the changing process for those of you who are unfamiliar with it. Maybe you can learn something from it. That was the first time I ever did it too, so I was kinda slow and had a look at everything before doing it. Excuse me for that in advance. So you can buy this thing in the item shop and you need like 5 vouchers for it, which I've already bought and used. It has a little description and also mentions you can change into or from Force Gunner. So let's buy it. And the cache inventory, there it is. Now, here I can select the class I want to change into. If you select a sword class, it converts your runes into sword runes too. You'll soon see why I have nothing there. But let's select the archer. Apparently it shows the battle modes and stuff like that, so you can compare the stats. Well, I guess this is my last chance to change my mind. But let's get on with it. Confirm and... okay. Let me just refresh this screen a bit. And there we go. Now I've got a shiny sig metal bow. And here we go. I'm officially an archer now. Looks like my stat points have been refunded, so I can't even equip my items yet. And what's that mail? Oh, it's the skill book package. I'll just put that thing into my inventory. Now, I guess I should start with the stat point allocation. For this orb I need... well, actually let me just check the shop for the highest grade crystal. And there's one. Now, let me know those numbers on a piece of paper, just a moment. And let's search for a coat as well. A coat has the highest requirements among armor pieces. There we go, noting the numbers again. And now for the allocation. This might take a while. So it's done. I actually overdid dexterity a bit, but I'll take care of that later. Now that this is done with, let's check that box with the skill box. Supposedly that has everything I'll need. Looks like I was given the basic 2 skills, so I'll delete those 2 first. Oh, and the runes. I promised an explanation. Well, I wanted to see if a sword emp rune would be converted into magic, so I'd have 2 magic emp runes, but it seems that doesn't work that way. Anyway, I've been keeping an MP rune in case rune slot extenders ever go down in price, but now I'm definitely going to need it since Force Archer has a lot less MP than Wizard. Now to open those skill book boxes. Looks like we have different ones for attack, support, passive and whatever else. Actually, I don't think that's very interesting, so let's just skip that part. Oh, there's also a potion including 70 million Oz, which should be enough to maximize all passive skills. That's very kind of them after spending 1.5 billion on the change kit really. As for my choices with passive skills, well, the 2 for magic attack and the 1 for HP are essential, and I decided to go for full defense rate build. I also learned the 1 for attack rate temporarily, because until I sell all my items I'll be using the orbs from my wizard, which have pretty low attack rate. Hopefully that won't last long. Well, I think I included everything important about the class changing process. Once again, that was the first and hopefully the last time I ever did that. If something was unclear, there's a nice illustrated guide by one of the game masters on the forums. You can find a link to that in the video description. And by the way, now, after a few days of being an archer, I must say I don't regret it. Of course, there are a few things I miss about Wizard, most importantly the movement skill Blink and the faster BM3 attacks, but I think if I finally gear it up, it will be much stronger. I guess stay tuned for a gear showcase video in the future. This time there really will be a lot of new items to show off compared to the previous one. So thank you for watching, and let me just say,